Hello boys and girls, today I'm going to show you how to create a rock and roll guitar using oil pastel. I'm going to show you two videos. One video is going to be just creating the guitar. The other video is going to be creating the background using colored paper and weaving. So there are many different examples here, different guitars that you can draw. You can make up your own. I'm going to show you how to do a basic guitar similar in shape to this one, but you can change it any way that you want. If you want to make it more angular, like this example, you can do that. I'm also going to be showing you how to blend using oil pastel. So for this lesson, we're going to start with our paper, and we're going to be starting with the shape of the guitar in the bottom portion of the paper. So what I usually do is at the very bottom of the page, because I want to make my guitar as long as possible, I draw a curved line for the body of the guitar, and then I draw the line inside. So what I do on one side, I do on the other side, but it doesn't have to be symmetrical. It can be asymmetrical, which means different on each side. And then I'm going to draw a shape like this and a shape like this. So the body of my guitar should be on the bottom half of the page. The stick of my guitar, the neck of my guitar is going to be in the middle. Now our neck is going to be short, not like a guitar is much, much longer. But since we have limited space, we're going to have to make our guitars a little bit, squished in. So the neck, I'm going to draw a line in the middle, but a little bit over to one side. A little bit into my guitar. So if you measure this side, I use my pencil when I'm measuring, so I'll press it somewhere, and then I'll do this on the other side, and I'm going to make a mark right there. So this would be the neck of my guitar. You could use a ruler for this if you have one, or you could just kind of draw it like I am freehand, which is a little sloppy. There we go. Okay, so this is the fretboard. This part's the neck, and then frets are these parts right here that you can add. In your drawing. Next, I have to do the top or the head of my guitar. So I have limited space for this too. I'm going to squish it in here. There's different shapes for the head. This is where the tuning pegs go for guitars. So I'm just going to put it like that. And then the tuning pegs would go here. And you can make these different shapes as well. Then we'll have the strings of our guitar coming down the neck. And we will have, if it's an electric guitar, some different buttons, input jack maybe, volume, tuning controls, different parts of your guitar that you can add some buttons. So you have to add where your strings are going to be attached. And there's usually another little rectangle there, okay? Now, what makes these interesting is that you can break them up into different colors and shapes. as I did here, sometimes I add flames to my guitar. I added a skull on this one. I added lots of different just kind of random organic shapes in the background of this one. And this one I had kind of an American theme. I had stars and I used red, white, and blue. So you be creative and draw whatever you want. I did create a worksheet for you that has some different kind of rock and roll type images to kind of give you some inspiration of what you might want to do. Let me go with something like flames. Or no, I'll do waves. I always do flames. I'll do something different. I'll do some spirals. Okay. If you're breaking up the space like this, it does help because you want to add more colors. So the more you break up the space, so it's not just one thing and you have other drawings inside of it, then it will make your guitar more interesting. Okay. I'm going to go over this in a black Sharpie so that you can see what I have done. I'm also going to talk about some different types of shapes that you could do from your guitar. Sometimes electric guitars have these kinds of waves in here to make them interesting. Sometimes it might be something more like this. If you wanted to do something a little bit different, you could do something more like this and have this coming out maybe from up here. Look at some different pictures of types of electric guitars and create something that you are inspired by. So I'll try to make this straighter. Straight down. And straight down. And then here. I will draw my frets. Frets are these bars that on the fingerboard that kind of help you fix your fingers in position. I don't actually play guitar though, so we're just gonna randomly make some up. And we'll add the strings at the end after we do all the color. Remember, it's very important to have this centered and have it go all the way to the top of the page. We're going to be cutting out our guitar, so you don't want anything too skinny or thin, because we are going to be gluing it onto another sheet of paper. There's the tuning pegs. Again, you want to fill up the entire bottom of the page. You don't want a skinny little guitar in the middle. And you can see I'm kind of changing the shape a little bit as I work. Now I'm going to show you how to draw some different kinds of rock and roll. I'll give you the handout that I drew, but I'll also show you how to draw some simple skulls. If you're drawing a skull, I usually draw a circle, and then I add a rectangle to the bottom. Then I erase. This is the shape of the skull. And then you can add the eyes, the nose, and you can separate the teeth if you want. You can put a bow if you want a girl skull in your skull's hair. You don't have to. You could give your skull a mohawk. Keep this part of the bow. And we'll go zigzag line that goes down one side. So whatever kinds of other little shapes that you want, but you want to use all this space of your paper. A star, simple way to draw a star is to use a pencil. Draw part of an A, then go up. You want to kind of make sure it goes through the middle and over this way, and then go like this. And then I take a marker. I go around the outside edge. And I erase the inside. You do want to erase any pencil marks because they might blend into your oil pastels when you're mixing. Okay, I am going to start adding color and talking about a little bit of color theory. When you're blending colors, it is a good idea to have an understanding of what we artists call the color wheel. The color wheel is an arrangement of colors in order that kind of helps artists figure out how to blend things, what colors are opposite or complementary, what the primary colors are, which are colors that can't be mixed. Can't mix two colors to make yellow. And what the secondary colors are. It kind of helps us with our understanding of color and gives us something to look at. When you're blending colors one into another, it helps to look at the color wheel and blend colors that are next to one another on the color wheel. Because if I blended colors that were opposite, they would not mix well, or they'd mix into a neutral color. So red and green will mix into a brown or a gray. Blue and orange will mix into a brown or a gray, and yellow and purple will mix into a brown and a gray. So if you're blending colors and you want them to look like they're moving and blending together naturally, it's a good idea to look at the color wheel and blend colors that are next to one another. That's called analogous colors. So you can, of course, always use white when you're blending as well. So, for example, if I want a skull that's going to be white, I color it in with my oil pastel. And I want to add some shadows around my skull. So maybe just so that you can see it well, I'm going to use this bluish color. And I'll color around the edge. And then it's time to blend it in. Also color around the edges of the eyes too. When you're blending in oil pastels, you can certainly use your fingers. They will get messy. But what I really like to use is a paper towel. This keeps my hands clean. There's a lot of different purposes for a paper towel. I can hold my oil pastel with the paper towel so it doesn't get on my hands. I can clean off my pastel. See, this yellow has some orange on it, so maybe I want to get rid of some of that. I can clean it off. And I can blend with it. I can also wipe my hands off if I get oil pastel. So when I have a paper towel, and I'm going to use it as something to blend with, as a tool, I fold it. And I continue folding it until I get a little square or a rectangle about this size. What I do then is I fold the corner. Now I have a point to blend with. And I'm going to use just that point on my paper. I always start in the lightest area first, and I blend. So if I'm starting in the lightest area, it's going to turn light blue. I don't want to over blend it so that it's all one color. I want to see my darkest and I want to see my lights. There, and now my skull is blue. Now, if I want something that's really going to pop for my hair, I'm going to use red and orange because red and orange are next to one another on the color wheel. Orange is also the opposite color of blue. So by using orange, I'm going to make the hair really stand out. I'm going to do red. I think I might do a lighter orange as well. Orange. And then I have this great yellow orange that I can use. There. And I don't want to use the same tip to blend because it's going to get all brown and messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold a different corner and I'm going to blend. Being careful to stay inside of the shape. See, I got a little bit of blue, so it turned a little bit of that muddy color. Always start with the lightest color and work your way to the darker color. And there you go. Don't over blend again because it won't come out. It will just look like all one color. Okay, so again, if you want colors that are going to go from light to dark, you would choose colors that are next to one another on the color wheel. These, and you would start with the lightest color. Wherever you want the lightest color to be, we'll put it up here. Then you work your way to the darker colors. You don't need to press really hard with oil pastel. Do a little bit around the edge here. And you do the same thing when you're blending with your paper towel. You start with the lightest, you blend all the light areas, and then you work your way to the darker areas, making sure to always use a clean part of your paper towel. Working my way to the darker areas. Oops. And you can blend any color in with white. It'll just look lighter. So we'll go to light blue. Okay, let me blend that one more time. Use a different part. Nice clean area. Start with the yellow. Blend in all the yellow into the green. Blend in all of the light green into the darker green. Then blend in the blue-green. Oh, I did it again. Into the blue. And now, if I blend this right into the white, it's going to look all like one color. So I'm going to use another corner. I'm going to start in the white section, because that really is the lightest. And I'm going to blend in the blue, just like that. And that's how I use oil pastel. Let me continue coloring this, and then you can get to work. I have finished coloring my guitar. If you got a little bit outside, it's okay. We will be cutting this out to add it to the background. You could also try erasing. The last step is to add the strings to your guitar. Now, you cannot, I repeat, cannot use Sharpie marker on top of oil pastel. All it will do is destroy your Sharpie, but you can use a black colored pencil. So I think the first thing, the best thing to do would be to divide your arm into where the strings are going to go. So you can try to make this even. You need 6 strings, so one could be close to the edge. One here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what you do here, you should probably do at the top. 1, 2, see the little tiny marks I'm making? 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, okay, 6. Put that one there. Okay. By making them at the top and the bottom, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to make sure that your ruler is straight and that your strings look straight. Now you line up the marks together and draw with your colored pencil right on top. You're going to go down to your bottom rectangle. Also going to do that on this side. Line that up carefully. So that's 2 strings. 3 strings. Move it to the next mark, see the next mark, try to make it even. 4 strings. 5 strings. And then this is the last one. Line it up so that it's even. Not too bad. There's a little bit of a gap there, but that's okay. For the most part, they're even. At least they're all parallel. At the bottom, draw where they would be attached. And you should probably add those circles on the pickups, the other rectangles that we have here. These would attach to the tuning pegs, but they might bend at the top, so I want the bottom one here, and there. Now your guitar is complete. It's time to cut it out and add it to the background.